Come on in, family. What if I told you that slavery didn't end in 1865? No, I'm not talking about chains. You see, the most dangerous prison isn't made of iron. It's made of the mind. Harriet Tubman didn't just escape slavery. She freed her mind first. Malcolm X didn't just become a leader. He educated himself while locked up in a cell. And if you want to break free and have freedom, you must break through the chains of your mind. This is how Black leaders turned mental slavery into Black excellence, and how you can do it too. So today is day 7 of Black History Month. Today I'm going to show you how 3 powerful minds, Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X, and Dr. Carter G. Woodson, broke those mental chains, and guess what? You can do it too. First up, let's look at our ancestor and great mother, the courageous Harriet Tubman, and how freedom starts with the mind. Now, Harriet Tubman is remembered for leading hundreds of enslaved people of African descent to freedom through the Underground Railroad. But let me tell you something. They said she freed 1,000 slaves. And she once was quoted that she could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. Imagine that. So I'm sure you may be wondering, what does that mean? It means some people in that time were so mentally conditioned by oppression that they didn't believe freedom was possible for them. Much like people today, they feared the unknown more than the chains they wore. But Harriet was different. She had a vision. She saw herself free first before she made her escape. She knew that the only thing stronger than a whip was the will to be free. Now let's talk about our revolutionary brother and ancestor, Brother Malcolm X, and how education means liberation. So here we are. We're talking about a man who was trapped behind physical bars, aka the new slavery here in America, the prison system in America. But yet he refused to let his mind stay locked up. Malcolm X. He entered prison as Malcolm Little, a man with an 8th grade education. But he left as one of the most powerful thinkers and orators of the 20th century. The recipe, how to take the lemons of life, how to take those moments of oppression and turn them into victories like our people have been doing for centuries. I'm sure you may be wondering, how did he do it? How did Malcolm X turn it around for himself? Well, books, knowledge, and self-education. Malcolm X copied the entire dictionary by hand. He devoured history, philosophy, and law. He transformed his mind while the system tried to bury him. He proved that power doesn't come from money or weapons. It comes from an enlightened mind. This should be our example and goals as well, to have an enlightened mind, to not allow the things that we see and hear and the oppression and the noise coming from the outside to cloud our judgment. But just like the proverb of the donkey that was in a pit, and the master wanted to end his donkey's misery, so he decided to bury it. But every time the donkey kept packing the dirt, and after a while, he climbed out. And that's what our people do. That's in our DNA, in our blood. We keep moving forward. Next on our journey today, we have Dr. Carter G. Woodson, known as the epitome of character and Black excellence. And we're going to talk about how to know your history and know your power. Dr. Carter G. Woodson, the father of Black history, understood something that many still don't. If you erase a people's history, you erase their identity. That's why he wrote The Miseducation of the Negro, to show how systems were designed to keep Black people ignorant of their true greatness. But aren't you happy that truth always finds a way to rise to the surface, no matter how our aggressors and oppressors try to suppress the truth? Dr. Carter G. Woodson once said, if you can control a man's thinking, you don't have to worry about his actions. That's deep. If someone has conditioned themselves or have been conditioned to see themselves as inferior, they will act accordingly. But when you know your history, when you know the contributions of Black minds to science, art, and civilization, you begin to walk differently. You think differently. And that's why they don't teach this in our school system. And it is our duties to teach it to our children, our unborn children, and the next generation, so that they can feel a sense of pride and a sense of connection to their ancestral heritage. Last but certainly not least, one of my all-time favorites, Dr. Maya Angelou, who shows us how to rise above it all. Dr. Maya Angelou, one of the most powerful voices in literature. As a child, she experienced deep trauma, so much so that she went years without speaking. But when she found her voice, again, she used it to inspire millions. She famously said, "You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies, but still like dust, I'll rise." That's the spirit of mental liberation. No matter what they try to suppress us, what they do to suppress us, no matter what chains they try to put on our minds, still, we always rise. So Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X, Dr. Carter G. Woodson, Dr. Maya Angelou, they all understood one thing. You must free your mind before you can free your life. And guess what? The same power they had is inside of you. It's time to break the mental chains, to educate yourself, to walk in your power, and to never let anyone control your thinking again. So if this message resonated with you, I want you to drop a fire emoji in the comments and tell me what's one mental chain you're breaking today. Please do us a favor, and I want you to engage with this video. To boost visibility, share, repost, save, like, and let's get this message of inspiration to the entire world. And if you believe in this message and spreading this truth, support this work. Your love gives help keep this movement alive. And so support this podcast. The Cash App handle is $ capital VSY lowercase ISRAEL 2021. It's pinned on the screen and it's in my bio. Support us today. Peace, love, and life for watching. And until next time, this has been Sankofa Sessions Podcast with your host, Chief Apostle Veronica Israel. And remember to keep growing, keep glowing, and never dim your life for anyone. I love you lots. Peace be with you.